Vic Fangio, who came from the Bears, kind of brought that attitude to this team this year, and they just weren't having it. Team is led, again, by their defense. Their offense is not scoring 30 points like they used to, and so they understand that this is a new team now. This team is going to hit the ground with Malcolm Brown and Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson. They're going to be a grinding squad and throw the pass to Cup and all those other guys, but this is a different team, and they're playing a different style of football. And tonight, you showed and saw a team playing physical, and we haven't seen that from this Rams team in a long time. So this is good to see from them.
Well, TD, as you know, when you get hit in the mouth the week before and you got a physical team coming in and everybody been saying, oh, man, they going to treat them just like the Niners treated them. Hey, you got pride, TD. You let your teammates know, hey, we finna come out. We finna let these boys know that we are the best defense on the field tonight. We're going to be the most physical defense on the field tonight. And you could tell by just the energy they had on the football field. When the Rams made a play, the energy that their guys were showing on the football field, they were letting Khalil Mack and them boys know that we are the best defense on this field. We know all the talk is about y'all and what y'all have done, haven't allowed a touchdown or pass over 10 yards and all that stuff, but we are the best defense on the field. You see Jalen Ramsey right here coming up hitting, stopping them short on third down. They were playing hard, and you could tell that they wanted to make a statement and let everybody know that we are that physical defense that could get after the quarterback, that could stop anybody and everybody, and they came out tonight and they showed it. I mean, these hits that y'all see getting after the quarterback, coming down, hitting Cardell Patterson right there, man, that's physical play right there. The Rams, you could tell, was an emphasis to come out and say, listen, it ain't happening today.
JJ, the Rams defense balled out. The Bears defense, they did enough. This was a 10-3 game at halftime, but you saw them get a little bit tired. The onus was really on this Bears offense. It's been non-existent. Let me ask you, is this a personnel problem? Is this a play-calling issue? How do the Bears rectify this issue?
To be honest with you, I don't think it's none of those, man. I think they have the personnel there. I think Matt Nagy is an excellent play caller. I mean, he could dial the plays up with the best of them. I just think, man, as you watch Nick Foles tonight, when he dropped back to pass, yeah, you see a lot of the receivers are open and things like that, but it's pressure in his face, too. They were causing him to get the ball out early, and they had pressure on him all game. And we all know when you get pressure on a quarterback, I don't care which quarterback it is, they are going to get happy feet. The ball is going to come out early. That's what the Rams did today. Yeah, you can always look back and say, dang, Nick Foles could throw it a little bit more here or a little bit more there. But, hey, when you got Leonard Floyd coming around the edge like this and you got Aaron Donald coming at you like that, and then right here's a flea blitzer. Yeah, the guy's wide open, but listen, the guy's coming right in his face. He had to get the ball early. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's none of it. I just think, listen, it's a bad day out at the office. I feel like they have the star power out there, Allen Robinson and those guys, Miller and those guys, to make plays. They just got to get the job done. And I'm a believer in Matt Nagy. He could dial the plays up with the best of them. It's just one of them nights, man. It's just one of them nights, and it happens. That's why we play the games.
James, I hear what you're saying. I'm looking at the roster. I mean, listen, Allen Robinson is a fantastic wide receiver. I mean, Jimmy Graham is kind of past his prime. But who are the playmakers on this Bears team? I mean, when you look at this team, you don't see a lot of playmakers. And so I believe it's both, right? You have a limited amount of playmakers, and then you don't have a coach who's playing to the strength of the players on that team. And, Nagy is used to a different system that comes in that's, a bunch of shifts, motions. He came from the old Kyle Shanahan, tree and all that stuff. And in the Sean McVay type tree. I don't see the creativity in this offense. And if they're trying to do something that's creative, they don't have the playmakers to execute that plan. So it's both, in my opinion. This offense is struggling, man. I'm in the bottom in probably every major category offensively. And that's been the case the last couple of years there. They thought it was a quarterback. Remember Mitchell Trubisky was the problem for a while. You bring in Nick Foles, and it's still the same issues with this team. So this issue is not going away. They have to find a way to get more talented and have to find a way to coach better.
TD, one of the storylines that didn't quite develop how we anticipated was, the two best pass rushers in the league, Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack. We expect both of these guys to have a big game. But, credit both offenses. They neutralized them both. How'd they get it done?
Well, listen, my coach always said to me, those guys on the other side, they get paid too. They own full scholarship too, Kyle. And the thing about it is, I don't say it's easy, but yes, if you want to take a guy out of the game, especially an interior defensive lineman or a rush guy, there's ways you can do that. You know, you can put a tight end over there, you can have chip blocks, you can put a running back over there. So for those guys not to have an impact on the stat sheet, it doesn't mean that they didn't have an impact on the game. Other guys who are freed up with the one-on-one blocks when you're double teaming, Aaron Donald, when you're double teaming Khalil Mack, should be making plays, and that's their impact, is having other guys having one-on-one opportunities. So, yeah, they're not going to go out there every day and have 2 sacks every game because they're going to be schemed right. You're going to have other guys who are aware that they're on the field. I mean, listen, I think, these guys had an impact enough where Aaron Donald's name was called a lot tonight. A lot of times they were calling his name. He may not have gotten home, but he was either close or he was doing something to impact that play.
And to your point, 6 QB pressures for Aaron Donald, just a half sack.
There you go.
1 sack for Khalil Mack, 2 QB pressures. More on this game as the show wears on. Meantime now, we're going to be joined by Marcus Grant in a moment because we know our Monday Night Football fantasy leaders feature prominently in tonight's show. There's Jared Goff. He didn't exactly light it up. 17.26 points for him. You see the top 4 spots for the Rams. Obviously, they had a whole lot more offense going for themselves. Again, and a big win for them tonight. We are now joined by Fantasy Live's Marcus Grant for some takeaways from tonight's action. Again, wasn't an explosive night for really anybody. Probably a shock for Allen Robinson owners. Only targeted, I think, 5 times tonight. Going forward, is that going to be more the exception or the rule in this offense?
I think it's more the exception in this offense. I mean, before this game, Allen Robinson had 9 or more targets in every single game. He is, without a doubt, the primary target in this offense. This just happened to be a night where they couldn't really get him open. They couldn't get the football to him. But in the end, because garbage points still count, he still got you double-digit fantasy points. With the 70 yards, he got you 11 points. And he's had double-digit points in just about every game. So this is one of those situations where you sort of chalk it up to the Rams' defense really locking him down and the Bears offense really having a bad night. But I think going forward, you can feel okay about Allen Robinson pretty much every week.
All right, MG, the Rams spent a 2nd-round pick on Cam Akers, but Malcolm Brown and Darrell Henderson are really getting the lion's share of the touches. For people who own Akers, is it time to cut the cord?
I think it might be. I think it might be time just to put him out on the waiver wire. I mean, he has played a combined 3 snaps in the last 2 games. He had 1 snap last week against the 49ers. He had 2 snaps tonight, never touched the football. I mean, if you have Cam Akers, you have to be super frustrated because you just don't know when and where they're going to use him. As you mentioned, it's been primarily Henderson and Brown getting the work there. And Sean McVay keeps saying they want to work Akers in, but it just doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. And even if he does get on the field, then it truly becomes a 3-headed attack. And at this point, if you've waited this long, it just doesn't make sense to keep waiting. It's a sunk cost at this point, and it may be time just to move on from Cam Akers.
All right, appreciate you, Marcus. Of course, we'll see you later on in the show for your waiver wire spice rack. Looking forward to that. Keep it here. When we come back, we'll be talking more about Jared Goff, and the Bears had a rough night on offense. Obviously, if that trend continues, is their defense good enough to keep them afloat? We will discuss among many more things. And TB12 continues to roll in Tampa, but how long will that last? And could Antonio Brown potentially disrupt the Bucs' positive vibes? That's coming up next. Stick and stay. You're watching NFL Total Access.